So an important attribute of the HD era is really being connected all the time. We think about it, the system's always being connected. Think about multiplayer. The ultimate artificial intelligence is actually playing against another human opponent. So multiplayer, you've seen a little bit of that with Xbox Live. We're going to broaden that even further by introducing the silver level of service and getting more people to the live service. The other attribute of it is actually bringing in some of the creativity of the gamers themselves. You know, you think about the power of the internet, and on one level you can talk about the power of the internet with TCP/IP and Cisco routers and DHCP, and talk about all the technical stuff. But the real power of the internet is that readers became writers. And it takes a very, very small percentage of the community to contribute a lot of value into the ecosystem. So you look at gamers themselves, if we can make gamers creators and allow gamers to start participating in the creative aspect of games, then it's really going to change these game worlds. The media choice is something that you really have to consider carefully when you're designing a new system. At its heart, Xbox 360 is about games. So we went out and we talked to game creators and we said, let's talk about optical media. Their number one request was not capacity. Their number one request is throughput. Their number two request is seek performance. And then they say, some games say that they want more capacity as well. So we went out and we did a dual layer 12X red laser drive, because those are the drives that have proven technology, have the highest throughput, have the lowest seek time, and we could be guaranteed to get a steady flow of supply to make sure that we have enough product on shelf. There's another attribute of red laser discs, which is the manufacturing. Not only are they cheaper to manufacture and will continue to be for a very long period of time, but they can also be manufactured anywhere. So for the game publishers who are really conscious about wanting to get their content onto store shelves quickly, Red Laser provides a superior solution there. So the upside to Blue, whatever Blue technology, I mean, that's another thing. We're shipping this year. We're not putting a hologram drive into it either. You know, these things are just specifications and they're not real products yet. But on the capacity front, that's the one thing where you say Blue out-edges the Red. And so we thought about capacity, and we actually did things like put Windows Media Acceleration into the hardware that's going to allow us to compress audio by up to 80% next generation and preserve the fidelity. So while we're not technically putting more bits on the disk, we're going to free up. If you took Halo 2, for example, and you brought it over to 360, they'd get 3 gigs back, just in audio alone. Well, if you don't have dreams, you know, you have nightmares. And so a couple of our dreams are to really blow out the live user community. We're going to do the silver level of membership that lets people get on at no charge. And then they'll also be able to experience and trial the gold level. I think one of the reasons that we found that the penetration live, one of the inhibitors, is that you can't try it easily. Unlike the games, you can't go to retail and try it or get a demo disc from a magazine or whatever. It's really hard to try it. So we want to make it very, very easy for people to get online and to try it. And our hope is that over half of the 360s out there are connected next gen. We all think about the fact that Desperate Housewives is more successful than video games, or that American Idol is the water cooler talk at the office. And so our ambition is really to create gaming and thrust gaming into the mainstream and make it as popular and successful as television, as movies, as books. We're not there yet. And so while the numbers are big, the revenue numbers and the business growth numbers are all very impressive, our audience is too narrow. So we set the goal for the team to say, let's go take gaming to 1 billion gamers. Let's make 1 billion people gamers next generation between what we're doing in Xbox 360, what we're doing in the PC space, what our competitors are doing. Let's go grow the market. Let's turn the world into gamers. You have to make your product more approachable. And if you look at the lightness and the optimism just of the physical design, if you look at what we've done with wireless, if you've looked at what we've done in terms of making the controllers smaller, more comfortable, and keeping it consistent so it's less intimidating. We put the buttons on the remote control that allow you to navigate the user interface and play simple games without having to pick up the gamepad. So you have to make it more approachable. Then you have to create content that's more broad, and we're doing that as well. Our acquisition of Rare is a great example of content that has the opportunity to reach a broader audience. And then the third thing that you have to do is you have to take the connected community, and you have to take the connected community and have them start creating content that really appeals and draws more people in, some more of the drama and some more of the personalities. It was fascinating to all of us that Sony said nothing about online at the press conference, because it's really the direction where gaming is going. You know, the most successful game release of last year, the biggest day in entertainment history, owes a large part of its success due to the fact that it was an online-enabled game and that the live experience on Halo 2 was phenomenal. The success of live subscribers pays a lot of service to the fact that Halo 2 was such a great experience and it drove subscribers up to the 2 million mark. So it's fascinating to me that Sony hasn't said anything there yet, but it does reinforce the fact that they're very focused on hardware. And our view is that the platform is a holistic picture. It's a balance of great hardware, great software, and a great service. I think there's a real opportunity for people to start piloting games. People all talk about the production costs of games, but what we lack in this industry is any notion to pilot a concept and write a game, the beginnings of a game, that's maybe 2 or 3 levels in length, and auditioning that to the audience and saying, what do you think about this? And getting some feedback before you go into full production and before you go into full marketing. And that's really where your production costs are the highest. So I'd like to see game creators get maybe a little bit more creative and a little bit more ambitious in terms of piloting and kicking around new ideas. And we've got the right infrastructure to do that with Xbox Live. I want to do 2 different things with gamer cards. The first thing I wanted to do was track all the accomplishments that gamers make throughout their history of games. It's interesting, you go and you rent a game, for example, and you finish it. Where's your reward for that? The systems don't track the progress that you've made. Sure, you can have your save game, but you really don't have any way to show off your accomplishments. Xbox 360 is going to track your progress in every game that you've ever borrowed, ever rented, ever owned, and collect that all up on a card that you can show to your friends on your system. But the great part of that, and the real payoff, is when you go online and you can show it to people across the net, and we can use that in the service to help find people that play the way that you play. You always have to worry about piracy, for sure. In this space, because we don't make any money on hardware, we make money on the games, and our publisher's lifeblood is the games. Retail makes most of their money on the games. So the thing that allows us to have these big audacious booths at E3 and make $10 million, $20 million games is that revenue. So it's our responsibility as a platform manufacturer, keep an eye on that and put in technology that prevents piracy. On the modding thing though, I love modding. I love the fact that there's all of this energy in the community to go make the system do more or to go customize the system. And so we've actually embraced the idea of modding. You can mod the hardware and put on a new faceplate. You can go mod the software and go change your skins. We're going to allow you to, basically install applications to the hard drive, content onto the hard drive. We're going to allow you to customize what you look like online. The games themselves are going to allow you to create levels and create characters and make tattoos for your characters and things like that. So I think personalization and modification is really, really important. And so we've tried to embrace that to the degree that we can without opening the box up for piracy and allow all that creativity and all that human energy that exists in the marketplace, in the mod space, and let them bring that energy to Xbox. I want to see that in Xbox 360. I want to see it on Live, but we haven't given them good tools. In the last generation, the tool was a screwdriver, a mod chip, and a bunch of forums, and we weren't helping. In this generation, I want to help, so not only the hardcore mod community, but the broad audience can also have a hand in the creation of Xbox 360. It's really important to us to have a worldwide perspective in everything we do, whether it's the name of the box, the industrial design of the box, the technology, the tools that we're creating for game developers. Every decision that we make with a worldwide audience in mind. And I think it's just offensive to gamers, as a gamer myself, if the product launches in one region and comes to my region 9 months later. I think that's just plain rude. So it's going to be hard for us to do this. Logistically, it's going to be very, very challenging. And from a gamer point of view, gamers in regions are going to be competing with one another for consoles. But it's the right thing to do. It's a worldwide product with a worldwide audience, and we want to deliver worldwide this year.